radio show with your host, Lonnie Clark. We stand together and accept that we now live in a world transformed by Fukushima. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on UCY.TV radio. We relentlessly engage every ear that listens. We expose and confront the complete lack of accountability for the nuclear industry. Consider social engineering programs who view our bodies, minds, and souls as assets on a balance sheet. We discuss vital current issues, interview activists, and engage our audience in an effort to allow all voices to be heard. The Age of Fission radio show creates a venue that all will choose. We encourage our listeners to reclaim their power and their courage to take action and save our planet from the ravages of greed and indifference. Our actions matter. Every voice matters. We remind our listeners that happiness is resistance. Love is greater than fear.
Good morning, UCY.TV radio listeners. This is Lonnie Clark. Today is October 14th, 2016. Welcome to Call-In Friday. Today is the number. Let me give you the number right away. It's 718-717-8296. And I'm going to attempt to call Dana Durnford. I didn't connect with him till very late about joining me. He says that he is willing to. But I do want to hear. Now, when Dana's on the phone, we can't have phone calls. That's the issue that I found out about Call-In Friday. So I'm going to send him a little message and tell him I'm going to call him in about 15 to give people a chance to give me a call, because I was on his Dana Durnford's live stream, and there were people encouraging me to stay on the show, that it really mattered to you, that you listen to every show. Please do call 718-717-8296. Figure out a way to sneak out to the bathroom or something if you're at work and give me a call. You don't have to stay on for very long. It'd be nice to hear from you and talk to you, because otherwise I'm just going to talk to you. And then in 15 minutes or so, I'm going to call Dana anyways, because he did say he is willing to be on the radio show with me, and I think that's awesome. What I want to talk to you today about is the definition of courage and integrity. I am sickened by the lack of integrity of the adults that live on this planet, that are taking responsibility for building the weapons, for purchasing the weapons, for selling the weapons. People don't get killed with no weapons, folks. What's going on in the planet, the murder, the genocide. I mean, we don't. As this election runs near, as an American, we're traumatized, folks. I'm traumatized. We had election fraud right beneath our very noses, and nothing happened. It's exactly like that story that Amy Goodman was talking about with those two young boys from Duke University. They're not boys, they're young men. They were like 22 and 24. And they're being tried as juveniles. And they're the only two. That was announced today. This week, there's only those two kids who were on the cameras. The only one, that girl that was brutally raped, taken from house to house. It turns out this was a big college town, Duke University, and it happened allegedly, from everything that they have seen in court, is that it was at a assistant coach's office, house. So this is why they're covering it up. Where's the integrity in our country? Election fraud? Rape of women on camera? Murder of innocent people on camera, and the entire system covers it up? It's not just the guns. Thank God we have the guns. To be honest, I think I've been converted. I don't own a gun, but I'm glad there's people who do because, man, it seems like, it's not seems like, in fact, this is something I put out a video. I stayed up late last night to put out a video after listening to Libby Halevi's October 3rd interview with Chuck Gagnon, I think his name was. And honestly, it blew me away. It was about the commercialization of space, folks. It explains why our government has this secret government, the $1 trillion deficit that they can't find. Because they're out in outer space doing stuff they're not talking about. They plan on, like, controlling the entire atmosphere. Nobody gets in, nobody gets out without the United States. That's our territory. So we're fighting over space instead of land while they're killing the planet. Where's the integrity of people standing up and refusing to participate with that? I'm just dumbfounded. I cannot believe it. I wanted to read to you the definitions of courage. Courage says the ability to do something that frightens one, strength in the face of pain or grief. That is the Google definition. Now let's read the definition by Merriam-Webster. What do they say? See if they're any better. These online dictionaries are awesome, folks, because people need to learn their words. We have an uneducated population. Doesn't mean you have to stay that way. They sure like it. The ability to do something that you know is difficult or dangerous. Here is integrity. This is the Google definition. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. Honesty, probity, rectitude, honor, good character, principles, ethics, morals, righteousness, morality, virtue, decency, fairness, scrupulousness, sincerity, truthfulness, trustworthiness. I never doubted his integrity. You know what's ironic about this with those synonyms that they highlighted? Not all of them were highlighted. I read all that were listed, but they did not highlight good character, principles, fairness, scrupulousness, and morals. So there you go. That's what's wrong with our country. Google doesn't highlight all the synonyms that really, it's so amazing, these people. This is what I'm saying, folks. We have to think beyond it. Okay, here's this one. There's no synonyms. The definition of being honest and fair, the state of being whole and complete. Integrity. So we have that's why people feel broken, because there's we are living in a system that is not honest, not fair. I mean, American bombs are dropping depleted uranium weapons on Gaza, on the entire Middle East. And now we're selling them to Africa. Our own, the United States military, changed its manual to say, we don't agree with the rest of the world. Depleted uranium weapons are fine. We have a military that is out of control, that gets fed like it reminds me of that big blob in the Star Wars movie. I forget his name. He was disgusting. That's what it is, and they're building an outside. I'm going to give Dana a call. I would love to bring him in on this Star Wars conversation. The thing is, since nobody called, the time is 8:09. Let me give you the number if you want to call right now. And if we call, I'm going to tell Dana I'll answer the phone, but he gets dropped off because I have to hang up from him. So I'm going to give him a call. See if this works. And I also do want to call Chuck Hindman. Okay, well, can't call Dana. Okay, so I am going to call Chuck Hindman then right this second, because he has an announcement to make. Somebody gave him an opportunity to do a fundraiser. And he says he will donate product to help remediate an area in Louisiana that is just incredibly bad. So hold on. Let me see if I can get him on the phone. If he'll answer. This is the music we get to wait for. Dana Durnford went back to what he was doing. He's not online. I apologize to Dana for not answering the call. I told him I'd answer the phone call, and then I didn't.
Chuck.
Hey, Chuck, this is Lonnie.
Hey, Lonnie, how are you today?
I'm doing well. You're live on the Age of Fission radio show.
Good deal.
So, Chuck, guess what? We have a caller calling. I know you need to make an announcement, don't you?
If you got a caller calling in, go ahead and take it.
Okay. Well, hello, Age of Fission radio show, and Chuck, this is Lonnie. Guess what? I answered that phone call, and it wasn't connected.
Aha.
So I have to disconnect from any guest that I have on. That's why I didn't have Dana on. I wanted to talk to you, Chuck, and I did not have the time to tell Dana that. I will send him an explanation, but he's very busy. He has a symposium going on today up in British Columbia, and he is doing a symposium to tell people what's going on with Fukushima. He's putting it all out of pocket. He's put flyers. He's hoping that the community will come out and join him.
I wish I was a little closer.
Me too, man. Me too. And I hope it's filled up. I really hope it does. But he's put out a lot of effort. And so, he came back online to give me a call, and then I didn't answer because I wanted to. This is really important what you're going to share, so please do.
Here, a month or two back, with all of the flooding of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, there was a lot of homes damaged. And I've been contacted by a group out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that is trying to help that community in doing mold remediation and trying to save some homes. They work entirely on donation. So if anybody is out there that wants to help donate to Baton Rouge by helping pay for one machine, pay for a 5-gallon bucket, go ahead and give me a call. We'll get it set up to where we can start sending some supplies and equipment down to Baton Rouge.
And will it be considered a contribution to that organization? Are they a nonprofit?
They're just an organization. They're not a nonprofit, so there won't be no tax money or tax credit.
But it helps the community.
I am aware of.
But it helps the community.
Right. And there's a lot of people in a lot of trouble.
Now, are you going to rent them the machine? Because what are they going to do with it? I mean, who will have it when it gets purchased? That's the question.
They're going to keep it because how many times has that territory flooded in the last 5 years?
What's the name of the organization?
I'm working with Cajun Army out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yeah, I see them. Okay. Are they a Facebook group? Is that where you met them, or do they have a website? Cajun Army
not
emerges. This is provides free help to flood victims. This was a story that got on the news for them. CajunArmyRelief.com. So that's where you can find them. That's what they talk about. Sign up as a volunteer. They need volunteers. Join our group to see more activities. So they're like you. They actually do a lot of their work through Facebook. Like you talk to people through Facebook and you spread your word through Facebook, I think, right?
Well, and radio programs and a lot of phone calls, and they contacted me via telephone, and I sent them some product to try, and I told them I'd continue to try and get them some work and some help and moving forward in the efforts of helping people.
Okay, and so let's talk about what the needs would be, the financial needs to get them a machine that would start, let's just say, one house. What the machine has to get there, that's the big cost. It's about shipping about $500. anywhere, right?
368 is for the machine, and off the top of my head, I'm not near a computer. So the shipping on one machine is going to be roughly $25-30, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be about the same for a 5-gallon bucket of microbes.
So how much do you think they're going to need then? I mean, what's the total cost to get it to these people in Louisiana that we're asking people to contribute to?
Whatever you can contribute, but with me, I'm not going to bankroll. I'm not going to try and take donation $100 here, $100 there.
I get that. Well, this is what I would say. Have you talked to them about them collecting the money, like they're taking in the money?
They don't collect. They don't take monetary donation. They just want
Chuck, that's
product.
Not very well thought. No offense, but I mean, they need to figure that one out because there's a lot of people that might be able to contribute, say, $100. $100 is a good chunk of change. If you got 10 people, you can accomplish the task with 10 people at $100. But who's going to accumulate the $100? So you need to give them a call back because this is a good idea. I'm very excited about it. This is exactly what we need. But they need to have like one designated person that they trust in their group. Whoever's going to be handling the machine.
They're a big group. They're a great group of guys, and I think most of them are veterans, and they're just there to help people. They don't, and it's like they explained to me. We don't take monetary donation. What they've done is they've set up Amazon pages on a wish list and things like that, where I'm not on Amazon, and they're wanting as much microbe and as many machines as we can get down there, and that's about the only venue I've got.
We need to get you on Amazon. That's pretty easy, Chuck.
It costs more money on Amazon than what because of their percentages.
People will pay.
So I try to keep my costs down for the people.
Oh, it costs you more money, you mean? It costs you money.
Right.
It digs into you super bad. That's what I've heard about.
And then if I got to dig in, and then I got to pass that buck on. So, it's.
Well, but you know what? If you do have to pass it on, then pass it on. Amazon doesn't care about that.
And that's why I do what I do to try to keep my rates and my.
Let me hold on. Can I get this call?
Sure.
You got to hang up though.
Oh, okay. You know how to call me back. Y'all have a good day.
Okay. Bye-bye. Well, thank you, Jules, for telling me that I had messed up. So I've got to give you a call. We've got to put our heads together because evidently I'm not doing this call-in Friday thing right at all. I was on the phone with a caller, and he was thanking me for the work. We were actually talking about a video that I put out last night on my YouTube channel right before I went to bed. As you know, I'm doing this reading about the safety of the International Atomic Energy Safety Model. And we're headed into the experience of the nuclear workers, the people who work at the nuclear power plant. And I haven't read in a couple of days because I've been busy. And I actually can't answer the phone to anybody because I'll put the radio station on hold. So until I figure this one out with the producer of the show, I can't take phone calls, folks. And I'm really sorry about that, but I really can't. Because I'd love to talk to you. But back to my point about the lack of integrity. We have the nuclear issue. They are lying to us. There is no integrity. There is no honor. There is no accountability. Wow. So anyways, I am going to talk to you about this CajunArmy.com. Request help. I'm going to give you their phone number because I imagine requesting help. You have to go online. So I think you have to go to their Facebook page, theCajunArmy.com, if you do want to get in touch with them and help them get a microbe machine. There's not a lot of people that can put out $1,000 right away. Even in the catastrophic cost. Our government sure could, the EPA could probably buy 100,000 of those machines and send them all across the country to remediate the fuse wrap sites. How about that, Gina McCarthy, since we hope you're listening? Honestly, it is just beyond comprehension that there is no integrity inside the EPA or courage inside the EPA. And this is the thing that really Jules has been talking about on her show, about the nanoteching of our society, about the space program, about the whole. I mean, if you've listened to her show over the whole last year, it is beyond comprehension. I mean, and when I heard this interview on Libby Halevi's radio show. Let me Google it so I can give you the exact title of it. So hold on. It's Nuclear Hot Seat. And it is October 3rd or 8th, I think it is, 2016. And that was just an amazing Nukes in Space, and it was an amazing show. You can find it on ucy.tv. I was listening to it for a second time, then a third time with Bruce Gagnon. Nukes in Space with Bruce Gagnon from the Global Network Against Weapons and Nuclear Power in Space. And he was saying the reason they added nuclear power in space is because our government has a program in space that was supposed to be illegal, but it's not really. They've been conducting it. Guess what? They have a war game that they've been training for with the target is a war with Russia in 2017. Now, why do you think that the Russians had a drill? Because we are coming up and their war drums with Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump says he's not going to start a war. That's like whatever he's going to do. He's going to pee his pants when he says how bad it is. He is such a spoiled little rotten brat. He can't even get beyond himself. But there is no integrity. Our country stays silent, like there are not masses of protests. So, you know how many times I've gone out and protested by myself? I mean, what is it going to take for Americans to stand up? I think they really do only quake in their boots when they see masses of people in the streets. You know, I was in school this week and we saw pictures. We're talking about the Mexican Revolution and the Mexican people and how they struggled to get democracy, a grain of democracy in their country, a modicum of it. which they do. You think we have democracy when Hillary Clinton, the supposed front runner, actually stole the nomination from her own base? It wasn't even a general election, folks. It was a primary. And you know what the revelation I had this week is? I have a feeling that the DNC actually rigged the election, the primary election, because they knew Donald Trump would be the only candidate, that he would just get it. They knew he's a psychopath, a narcissistic psychopath, so he's going to spin out of control and start getting power hungry. Yeah, he'll sign up for the $1 billion bonus to help Clinton get elected. They're friends. Him and Bubba had that conversation. So I was thinking about that. What if they stole the primary from the Republicans, too? Wouldn't that just be awesome? I hope WikiLeaks dumps that one, man. That would just be so great. I'll bet you that's in there somewhere. So look, folks, it is 8:26 on Friday, October 14th. You're listening to Lonnie Clark with Call In Friday, except that doesn't work. So thanks for the 3 people who've tried to call in. My apologies to Dana Durnford for not answering your phone call and getting you on the air before the show started. I did that because Chuck called me in an urgent message like a minute before I was about to call you and said, look, we have this big thing that we want to share with people about helping the people, the flood victims in Louisiana, because their houses are falling apart from mold. They got flooded down there, and it is just a rotten mess for lots of people. They can't even live there. Or they have a whole section of their houses that they can't live in. So, this is a great idea. The request call for Cajun Army, you can find them on Facebook, Cajun Army. And obviously they're a shoestring organization because nobody even can figure out how to take money. So, no. I mean, that's kind of the primary thing. But I guess what they do is they're just like people who actually go do the work. So you can join them. It's called the Cajun Navy. I don't know. This clicked into Cajun Navy, but I don't know if that's the same one. Oh, Lord. Still now? Okay, hold on. UCY Radio. Let's see. Hello. Okay. Anyways, I am hoping that I can be heard. My radio says that I am live on the air, and Jules, I just read a message, don't hear you. I think I'm okay. So I am going to continue talking about this because the eternal optimist. This thing with Bruce Gagnon had me in tears, really seriously in tears. Our children cannot really thrive and survive if they have to wear a gas mask all the time. And we probably should be wearing a gas mask all the time. I was thinking about that when that said that. So I'm sorry about that, folks. This is, I guess it's an impromptu day because I had thought that I would have Dana Durnford on, and I went very quickly with this idea of having Chuck on, and I thought Dana could hang on, but he left. So maybe he'll be back. No, he's gone. He's busy. He is super busy. And I encourage people to go to Dana Durnford's website called thenuclearproctologist.org. Give him a call or send him an email. Ask if there's anything you can do to help. The answer is you can contribute to his funding of his activism. He's giving a symposium, and as a person who put on a symposium for Kevin Blanche, the very first symposium for Kevin Blanche was put on here in Eugene, Oregon. And I thought, was it March 13th, 2011. We wanted him here for 3/11. That did not work. 2013. He was here 2 years later. And that's when a woman stood up and said, "You don't know what you're talking about." And she was like very insulting to Kevin. To be honest, she was angry at him because he was insulting. He's like, sorry, but you baby boomers have, you peace activists, you failed. If you had kept on it, yeah, but you got, even my friend, I have a friend here in town who laid in front of Dick Cheney's car. And I think, you know what he came to realize? Like where I'm at, it doesn't matter. They don't care. They will kill everybody, and they are killing everybody. They are. Cancer is the #1 killer of our children. You know why? We know why. Because of the EMFs. Because of the electromagnetic fields. So that is why. So, that's integrity. It's called integrity. It's just so outrageous, Well, Mimi Gurman just asked me to see if I could give her a call in since it's call in Friday. She tried to call me and I ignored her, so I don't think I am going to call her because I think it'll put the thing. I think with UCY Radio, because of the plug-in, I need a special plug-in. I think that's what I need to do. So I'm getting technology savvy here, folks. Thank goodness for that, eh? I am kind of upset. I do have to say, as most of my listeners can probably tell, that this is beginning to take its emotional toll on me because we're living in a planet. I put out my video last night. I said, we need to pray. We need to pray for everybody. I put the video out because if I actually do believe in the power of prayer or meditation, whatever you want to call it, however you want to call it, because we seriously are in a crisis right now. We have our country literally is a militaristic banana republic. My video says happiness is resistance. Please pray for peace. What's really hilarious is, those instant videos YouTube gives you is I'm like in this freaked out state. I have to go in and look at it. I just put it up. Look, it is a really serious issue. Hold on, I'm typing here. Okay. So I just told Mimi Gurman, sorry about this. We can't do call-in Friday until I figure out what I've got to do with this, with Jules. So the reason that people contribute to this radio station is to bring us shows like Nuclear Hot Seat, so we can hear people like Bruce Gagnon, so that Jules can read us these stories, so that we have people reporting on the politics in South America and in Greece and in Europe and in other parts of the country where we get real information. We have people calling. Our hosts are from Europe. They bring us firsthand. They have the European point of view. So it is just astounding that we have no integrity. We have 1 month away before the charade of an election is about to happen. Now, this would be really an interesting thing if we have this crisis where the government says, oh, well, Donald Trump is stepping down. We don't have a Republican presidency, so we have to delay the election. Can you imagine the guns that are going to come out? This is like really feeding the fuel of the Obama wants to be emperor story, right? This is like kind of a shock. They'll stand up if we can't vote, because it's really important for us to have to vote for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. Oh my God, you guys. This country. People need to think, folks. It's not about not being able to vote. It's about having a vote that matters. If we were going to come out with the guns, it had to have been when Hillary Clinton stole the nomination. I didn't see the Republicans standing up for democracy, just like I don't see them standing up for women. Women get raped and brutally treated, and they act as if it's their fault because they're immoral. I mean, I've literally heard that on Fox News. That is just bull. Let me tell you what, rape is not. It's about integrity and honor, and men being really honorable men. I mean, having a sense of decency. I mean, who are these people that are building the bombs, creating the bombs, making up these ideas, covering up? Who are these freaking judges who, because of what? What are they being threatened by? The Abu Ghraib tapes are horrific. The things we did to those poor people at Gitmo, just Gitmo. Forget Abu Ghraib. Gitmo is despicable. To this day, it's still despicable. Hold on, I have to send her a text because this is not going to work. She's going to keep bugging me. Can't. Hold on, folks. Do. There we go. Okay, so I think I finally got rid of her. Because we have about a half an hour left, and I can't keep taking someone trying to call in and call in and call in. She really wants to call in. I know she's dying to talk. I probably will have her on the air sometime next week. I've been thinking that I want to have Heidi Lambert and Mimi Gurman back on and talk about the actions that they're doing, because here in the Northwest, people are taking action. Those are two people who are actually doing things. Heidi has worked for nonprofits and understands how to get things done in a community with working with people, which is great because we need to learn how to organize. That's one of the things I've understood. But the title of my video was Happiness is Resistance. Please pray, because we need us to pray, but we need to not be all freaked out about it. We need to have the courage, the ability to do something that you know is difficult and dangerous, and not be freaked out. That means also not being like having the mental or moral strength to venture. This is the full definition. Mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. So how's that one? And that is, this is the full definition of integrity. Firm adherence to a code of special moral or artistic values. Incorruptibility. An unimpaired condition, soundness. The quality or state of being complete and undivided, completeness. Incorruptibility, soundness, completeness. Well, as we have seen, our entire just us system is completely corruptible, not at all sound, and actually it is very incomplete. I mean, part of the problem that we have in our country is we have a justice system where we don't have, all the seats are not filled. The courts are slow because we don't have the judges. Look, folks, we don't have a Supreme Court. Our country is completely broken. The Republicans have the Republican game masters, the Republicrats, the Democrats, and the Republicans, but it is the, let's be clear, it is the Republicans in Congress refusing to put a Supreme Court justice on the seat, even though the guy Obama wants is completely despicable in my eyes. They just don't want to give Obama a win because why? They're racist pigs. That's why. Let's just be clear. Forget this, oh, we want to show them. Look, they are racist. They are racist, immoral pigs, to be, in my view. To treat our country like this, and frankly, the President of the United States, I don't like Obama. You know, he sold out. But you know what? It starts with us, each person. I think that I was thinking about this yesterday. I was working on taxes and really working hard to make these numbers, to put these numbers together for this guy to make it work, to have it be completely right. And I was thinking, why am I doing this? And you know why? Because everybody matters. I want a country where we have the ability to take care of the poor and the old. Do you know what they are attempting to do to get a bill passed? They want to use funds for the military machine in a, I forget the program, but some Star Wars kind of a thing. This guy, that Libby Halevi, Bruce Gagnon, discussed it. Go to Global Network Against Weapons and Nuclear Power in Space, and you will see. Just Google that. That's a big, long name. Let me do that for you, and let me see what it pops up, and I'll just read you the. I can't imagine that their URL is that. What a mouthful of names. They should have. Maybe they made that an acronym or something. It's called spaceforpeace.org. So their name is completely different. That's hilarious. Well, he's been this is a group that's been around for like 1983. Spaceforpeace.org. And the 4 is a number 4. Spaceforpeace.org. SPACE 4, the number, PEACE.org. And the thing is, we need to get the word out about what really is going on. I mean, here is Chokehold on Russia and China. As soon as you click on it, here's the download for poster. They have a poster. Oh my gosh. These people do a lot of work. It's a great organization. I honestly was blown away by the information that Libby Halevi brought to everybody. And thank you, Libby Halevi, for that powerful interview with Bruce Gagnon. I'm going to read to you what it says. Chokehold on Russia and China. The U.S. and NATO are increasing their military encirclement of China and Russia. Let's blah, blah. Let's get all the way through it. You should see where all of these are missile NATO defenses and the U.S. Pacific bases and missile defense deployments, the U.S. and U.K. Trident nuclear missile submarine operating areas. Oh my gosh, it's all around. I mean, it's unbelievable. The paranoia, it's the military machine. Why do we need to have this? I don't know. I guess it's a monster that has eaten its own arms off. But I will tell you what, folks. I still am dedicating this show to Wendy Lumetta, who has been sick for the last couple of weeks, and honestly, she has been such a support for me in my coverage of St. Louis, and to hear that she's really sick, and she has some pretty serious issues from radioactive waste, from living near it. This is the living proof. People that we know and care about have to go into the hospital and have to deal with some serious issues. So it is time for us to hold our elected officials, not just the elected officials, ourselves. Think of the millions of people who were involved in these machines. It's trillions of dollars and millions of people. Maybe that is the exodus we need to have. I don't know. Well, I apologize to you all for me not being able to make phone calls and have call-in Friday. I've got you all slathered up for call-in Friday, and I can't take the phone calls. So I have to actually talk to Jules. I apologize for that. So I see we have about 10 or 15 minutes left. I wanted to share with you something that's kind of funny about my life and the kind of peculiar person that I am. On Sunday, I turned 61, and this year is 10/16/2016, and it's like 16 and 16, you turn 16 around, it turns into 61, and it's in the year 2016. And I normally work, in fact, I probably will be working on my birthday, because it always falls on right the day after tax filing deadline. I've been doing this about 18 years now. And I decided October 15th in the evening, I am going to go, since the filing deadline's the 17th, I'm going to go out and see Paula Poundstone in Eugene, Oregon. I saw a Facebook post that said, Paula Poundstone, Eugene, Oregon. So I went online, and it's kind of hilarious because there's a lot of seats. Obviously, she doesn't pack the room. But the front seats, I decided I'm just going to buy a good front seat. And I don't know if it's a good seat, but I bought 2 seats, and I have no idea who I'm going with. I might end up going by myself. Because I really don't know who I could go with. My friend Ed, who I know here in town, is not comfortable with a lot of sound, and this is right on top of the stage. It's right there. So, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting living in Eugene, Oregon, and being an activist. Now, there are activists, but I think they don't want, again, they're politically correct. They don't want to offend people. And this idea of being politically correct that's why people like Donald Trump, because he's not, quote, politically correct, except that he's a spoiled brat. That's my problem with Trump. I don't trust him. I think he's working for the Clintons. I would not in a million years vote for Trump. I'm not voting for Clinton. I'm going to vote for Jill Stein. And you know why I'm not going to vote for Bernie? Because I read an article that said if enough people vote for Bernie, then Hillary Clinton won't get all the delegates, Trump won't get enough delegates, and the United States Congress is going to have to decide who's going to be president. Hell no, we're not giving them that power, so I'm voting for Jill Stein, because enough people are not going to vote for Jill Stein. She's not going to get more than 10% of the people. People don't like her. I don't know why they don't like her. Her ideas are, she is a raging liberal, but her ideas are sound. We've never actually in this country attempted to even be a humane country. We genocided the native indigenous cultures here and the people. We have stuck them on grounds, and now we're pouring uranium tailings, and there's thousands of abandoned mines. It's an outrage. And guess what? That nuclear poison is coming to you, folks. And we have to gird our loins and be stronger, because guess what? We are about to see a lot more death in the next 10 to 15 years. And it's not like I'm being a Debbie Downer. There's a lot to live for, but we need to just be honest about it all. So it's a super important thing for all of us to just decide that we are going to do what we can, each person. Like Dana Durnford, please go to Dana Durnford's website, thenuclearproctologist.org. Make a contribution. Even small contributions matter. In America, our money goes farther. I think he gets like $113 and costs $100 or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not that expensive to contribute. If you can give $10, $15, $20, honestly, every little bit does count. It really does help. It is a drop in the bucket. At first, it doesn't feel like much, but it really does help. And on that note of asking for money, of contributions, I also encourage people to come to our website, ucy.tv. If you're here, you're listening, so you know where. Hit the donate button, because stuff always needs upgrading. It would be really nice. Wouldn't it be great if we had like $1 million and we could actually run like a real radio? Like Jules wouldn't have to work her ass off all the time, like doing everything and doing her show. Imagine this. There is much that we can do. And I think the time is short. But I wrote this in a poem the other night. The time is short only because we are all afraid. Just that if we felt like we had time, it wouldn't feel that urgency. But as we speak, our children have been poisoned. As we speak, our waters are being poisoned. Our food supply has been tainted and destroyed and controlled. Let's don't forget about the control, folks. They are controlling. What will happen when the trucks don't roll up and down the highways to bring food to people? Banana Republic. And they do that intentionally. They withhold food all the time in Africa. We have the ability to get food to people. We have lots of food, but it is controlled. Starvation is a tactic of war. And there has been a war going on. And it is time for Americans to actually realize it. We are supposed to say that these elections matter. And then if they don't matter, people are going to be freaked out. Like if Trump drops out and says, there's some reason, something comes out, some allegation that makes it absolutely clear that he's done, which no doubt he has, to be honest. I don't get these people. I've seen women defending Trump. Well, it's his locker room talk. No, you know what? That guy is known to have been a pig for a long time. I mean, honestly, anybody who's followed him, and he never did anything to stop and frisk. And he also thinks that Muslims should carry special identification. What the heck? That's what Hitler said about the Jews. And if you don't want to make that comparison, don't, but it's real. Just like she's Hitlery. She's just like him. These two are two peas in a pod. But it's not Trump. It's not Clinton. It's their overlords, man. And these people are out in space, and they are moving ahead with our tax dollars, folks. They're using our system. So one last thing, too, also. I'm actually going to invest in a set of microphones for my birthday. Because I listened to a radio show the other day, and man, it did sound bad. I apologize to you. Thank you for bearing it and listening. I am going to get a new set of microphones. Maybe not this weekend, but because I have to do taxes. I have to finish by the 17th and have school on Monday. But by next Wednesday, I'm hoping I have a decent headset, because I guess I have to, I'm not a very good consumer. Somebody sent me something, so I'm going to just purchase what they told me was good. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. So, look, there is a lot of activism going on. People are beginning to rouse. We are like this tsunami that's happening. In fact, we are the tsunami that's happening, you know? And it's time for us. I'm going to read this because we have a few minutes. It's from the Constitution of the United States, and this is what makes us Americans. I know it seems corny, but we do have a Constitution. There are laws, and at some point, you just can't be that above the law so that it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't, we have to demand that it's not just us. We have to demand justice. If enough people stand up and remember who we are, that we're one people. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings to ourselves and to our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. When I was in 5th grade, we had to memorize that, and I venture to say there's not very many 5th graders memorizing this, because we have established the United States to establish justice in our country. When our country can torture people, in fact, they're torturing people today in our name, right now, with our tax dollars. And I'm just not talking about Gitmo. I'm talking about the private prison system that uses anybody who is incarcerated. It is a despicable slave labor system where they pay people 37 cents an hour to work. It is slave labor. I don't care how you put it. It might have the justice system wrapped around it, and they might be subcontractors for big corporations. But that is not an industry, folks. And to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. That means to our children, our posterity. The blessings of liberty. Really? Are we free? Really? Right now, this phone call is being heard. This radio station is being heard. We are being spied on at a big level, and we already know it. Promote for the general welfare. Provide for the common defense. I am reading backwards, as you can tell. Ensure domestic tranquility. Really? Is that why they're killing people on the street? Establish just us. Form a more perfect union. In order, the United States, we the people. In order, the United States, we the people. That's why they killed John Lennon, folks. He was getting people to realize that we have more power than we exercise. It is a sad state of affairs in our country when the judge in this case in Duke University says nobody else is going to be prosecuted. A girl was horribly raped on camera, taken from house to house, and raped by a bunch of frat boys at the coach's house. And only two young men, they're not boys, they're young men, are going to be tried as juveniles, and nobody is going to be indicted. That is par for the course when we have police officers murdering people on camera and nobody goes to jail and there is never a prosecution. And if there is a court case, they rarely get indicted unless it's a female. Females might get indicted. That is the sad state of affairs. This is a fascist state, and until we wake up and realize that this election is not an election, and the only way that we can really stand up against it is vote third party. I honestly do not know anybody. I heard Sean the other day say that he believes that Trump is real. He thinks he thinks I don't understand it. I don't for a second believe that Trump is real. I think Trump is working for his $1 billion bonus. And wouldn't that be awesome if WikiLeaks dumped that one out too? And then they could call an emergency, and then Obama would declare, and then people would go, oh my God, he wants to be a Lord. What would happen when that goes down? Like Mike Pence would run against Hillary Clinton and lose, and then he gets to... I mean, the dog and pony show in this country makes you wonder what they are about to pounce on us right now. Many Americans can feel it. We are done. So how do we change this? I don't have the answers. I think we need to pray for peace. We really need to pray for peace. We need to have a prayer for peace. I mean a cessation of the dropping of the weapons, of an end to the nuclear militarized war zone that planet Earth has become. If you go to this website at Global Network, it's called Space for Peace. Take a look and see where the United States has bases, folks. All over. All over. It is unconscionable that our country continues to fund nothing but war while our children are suffering. Our friends are getting sick and dying because the chemical nuclear industry, they're just kicking the can down the road. That's Kevin Blanch's favorite phrase. Kick the can. And that's exactly what they're doing. So we have 1 minute left. I want to thank everybody who has listened to this diatribe and struggled through my efforts to talk to people today. I apologize to you for all of that. My apologies go out to Dana Durnford. I talked to him right before the show. I said, well, why don't you call me? And then when he called me, I was talking to Chuck about this emergency going on. So let's make use of that, and please do go to Mid-America Land Restoration on Facebook or his website, midamericarestore.com, if you can afford to give him a contribution or buy some product for the people down in Cajun country. I appreciate you listening to us. Put your courage feet on. Happiness is resistance, folks. Let's figure out how we can organize, how we can stop these people, and don't get flipped out when they start stealing it. Talk to you guys later. Ciao. Or do get flipped out.